This time around, I'm improving an improvement. It's no secret that the throttle and brake pedal placement on the Mazda2 from the factory is less than ideal, especially if you've got smaller feet, and it makes a heel-toe motion a real pain in the butt. A couple of years ago, I made what was version 2 of my throttle pedal extension for the Mazda2, and I said that eventually I wanted to make it out of something more substantial like metal, so that's what I'm gonna do. This video was made possible in part by your generous contributions on Patreon. Thank you. As a result, it should look a little bit better, and people will probably take it more seriously given that it won't be made out of compressed wood pulp like the one that's in the car now, even though that one has served me well for many years. So stick around and enjoy version technically 3.0 of the Mazda2 Better Throttle Pedal. To complete this project, you're only going to need a handful of things. You're of course going to need the material you're making your throttle pedal extension out of. In this case, it's metal. This is some rack that was on an old table. Always save scrap metal because you never know what you're going to be able to use it for. A template of some kind. In this case, I'm using the old pedal, and that piece of metal there I think is going to do the trick. Neat. Great. You're going to need some double-sided tape. The stronger the better, in my opinion. Last but not least, you're of course going to need some kind of cutting device. If you have an angle grinder or a Dremel, something like that, that'll do the job. Just be more careful when you're using a power tool like that. In my case, I happen to have a pair of tin shears, which will make this job quick, easy, and quite a bit safer. This metal isn't quite as long, or tall, I guess, as the existing pedal, and it really doesn't have to be. This one is overly long. My foot really only contacts right here during a heel-toe event, so what I'm going to do is just scoot that up a little bit, outline it here, and trim away. I'm using a black Sharpie on this black metal, just so when I trim it away, there's not like a brightly colored outline that I have to cover up later. Now I'm going to go ahead and just cut away everything that I don't need. Be careful for sharp edges. Come on, little tab. There we go. So what we're left with here is, of course, the marked up template piece. I'm going to trim away, of course, all this sharp excess. It's actually starting to look the part. Let's see how we're looking so far. That's almost perfect. I'm gonna have to work it to the shape of the pedal, just like I did last time, but this is looking pretty good. I think I'm gonna take a little bit more off here, make it less square, because it doesn't really need to be. Got some just random sandpaper I had lying around the garage. Just gonna clean up those edges a little bit. You can make it as nice or rough as you want. Check all the edges, make sure you're not hanging up on anything, and you have a successfully deburred piece of metal. Now I'm going to take the plate and I'm just going to, by hand, bend it just a little bit to help contour it to the shape of the pedal. I think that's going to do nicely. The last thing we've got to do before sticking it on the car is add some grip tape. I had grip tape on the edge of the old one just to ensure that my foot never missed a heel-toe blip. Man, I'm really making this one nice. Maybe I might have enough to make one or two more to give away in the future, but we'll have to see about that. Look at that. That is a much nicer looking piece there, and it's ready to go on the car. Got my double-sided tape ready. Let's stick it. Line up that edge nice. Make sure that Gorilla Tape pressed on there real good so it takes hold. Make sure that it doesn't stop you from going wide open throttle, which it doesn't. That definitely looks better than the old one. That 30-pound Gorilla Tape is probably overkill, but it's never going to come off on its own anyway, and it looks a lot better because it's contoured to fit the pedal, and I don't have to have zip ties in place holding it down. Pour one out in the comments for the old throttle pedal. It served me well. Couple days later, pedal is good and stuck on there, and as we can see here, it's working a treat. It's not really heel and toe as much as rolling my foot over. You can really see how far over to the right the original pedal was, so you would have had to swing your foot over and really work it, and this center panel here really gets in the way, so look at that. Just roll your foot over, nice and easy. Big bucket of win. Just a couple of quick things before I go that haven't been mentioned yet on the channel. I finished up my windscreen banner. It's of course got the Mazda Motorsports on it, and being the true dumb sports car IMSA fan nerd that I am, I added a splash of color to each end, a sort of class designation kind of thing. I've also got back my rad 1960s spec white ceramic coated exhaust. It hasn't looked this good since I started the channel in 2016. It made an appearance in the first video I made, and then I don't think it was ever mentioned again until now. Really cool to have that back. I really like how it looks. And one last little thing, I promise. I have a little bit of a tradition with my cars. I hide drink caps of beverages I like in the engine bay somewhere. On the 2, I hide it right here on top of the passenger engine mount. I think it's just a fun little Easter egg thing that I do, and for a while, it's been Coca-Cola. But now I'm going to be replacing it with this Orion beer cap, and not only is it one of my favorite Japanese beers, but they have a super fun cap, and it goes well with my silly little Easter egg shtick. Whoops, at least it made it to the floor. Just a little dab of super glue on there, and on she goes. Boom. Alright folks, that's it for this one. It'll probably be the last video of 2020, so I just want to say thank you for everything. You guys are awesome. For all the various ways you support the channel, I'm eternally grateful. There are a lot of people who believe in what I'm doing, and that's super awesome, so thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone is having a wonderful holiday season, whatever holiday you celebrate. I know Hanukkah just ended, so happy Hanukkah to my Jewish contingent out there, and Christmas is rapidly approaching, so Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas to everyone out there in the world, and whatever other holiday you might celebrate, or not at all. I just hope you're having a wonderful season, and I hope you have a happier, healthy 2021. That's it for me this time. Thank you all so much for watching and subscribing and supporting the channel and taking care of me in every way that you do. I appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bought it so I could get this cap. Fuck you, dude.